One thing that's really important to me in all the work that I do is that I only talk about what I know to be true. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and I don't want to be a part of that. So before I do any spiritual work, I raise my vibrational frequency to help me connect with the highest frequency beings and information. And the way I do that is by surrounding myself in a sacred sphere of golden white light that touches every cell in your physical and your energy body, raising your frequency. And if you want to try that, feel free to do so. You may begin to feel the energy shift as you become one with that golden light. We'll do that more later as I lead my guided meditation. In order to help the people I work with to understand what's true and what's not, I teach them a few discernment methods. And I also use those methods daily. I've been channeling Saint Germain since about 1980. And recently, he told me, if you aren't able to discern the truth from a lie, you are lost in a sea of maybes. Is that where you need to be? Lost in a sea of maybes? No. Okay, so we're going to learn some discernment skills. Before I teach you, I want to let you know that before you do any of this kind of discernment stuff, you need to be grounded in your body and in a neutral frame of mind. And by neutral, I mean, I don't care what the truth is. I don't care what the answer is. I just want to know what the truth is, okay? If you're emotionally upset, your emotions can influence the answer. Also, you shouldn't do discernment like this when you're sick, exhausted, or influenced by any outside substance, which includes some prescription medications, because it's harder to get clear answers. And also, if you have really strong beliefs about something and aren't ready to explore new ways of looking at life, you probably won't get clear answers if you ask about someone who's doing something that doesn't fit into your present paradigm, like myself. If you're rigid and inflexible, these won't work for you. So open your mind and relax. And here we go with the discernment skills. I'm going to start with the pendulum. I prefer a metal pendulum myself, so find a pendulum that works for you. And I like to hold my fist like this underneath the pendulum to give it a foundation upon which to rest, is what I'm told. And start at neutral. And then I ask my pendulum, if you've got a pendulum, go ahead and bring it out, to give me a no answer. And that's my no answer, back and forth. And then I bring it back to neutral and ask my pendulum to give me a yes answer. And for me, a yes answer is a circle. Now, sometimes when I work with people, their circles are just so tiny you can barely discern that they are circles. That's usually someone who's not used to having a lot of cosmic energy running through their system. Another tool I use regularly is the dowsing rods, and these are made of brass. You want to start in a neutral position, and I'll ask, give me a yes answer. And I know my yes answer is like that. Bring it back to neutral, give me a no answer. And that's my no answer. This is different for different people. Now, I use my dowsing rods to measure the outer edge of someone's aura just before we do our tours. And then at the end of the tour, I measure their aura again, and it's usually expanded at least 3 times, and sometimes 7 times, depending on how much of the good mountain energy they've absorbed. Now, some people cannot use either of these 2 methods. They just don't work for them, because my theory is that they're not used to having cosmic energy flowing through their bodies, and that's what makes these tools work. Another simple technique is using your body as a pendulum. So why don't you stand up right now, and we'll all use our body as a pendulum. You want to get relaxed, and you don't want to be stiff and rigid, be really relaxed, flow with the flow. And now in your mind, ask your body to give you a yes answer. And notice which direction it moves. Yeah. My yes is forward. And once you get yes, ask for a no, which is backward to me. Sometimes you go sideways, or sometimes you spin a little bit. Is that working for everybody in the room? Great. It doesn't matter what it is. It just matters that it's yours. And when you're asking what's yes and what's no, I want you to trust that it's going to be like that for the rest of your life. Don't think every time you have to get an answer, you got to ask your body again what yes and no is. You can go ahead and sit down now. Another thing you can do with your body is called kinesiology, and I like to do it with my fingers, because that way I don't need another person to push my arm down like that. So put your middle finger and your thumb together, and then make a chain out of them, and just lightly pull. And now you ask your body to give you a yes answer, and you pull, and your fingers will either stay together or they'll come apart. Once you got your yes answer, ask for a no. My no is apart. Okay? Some people prefer this method, where you do a little circle with your left hand and put 2 fingers in the middle, and you ask for yes and no. And then some people do it like this, but I haven't yet figured that one out. That one doesn't work for me. So I like this so much, I use it all the time. In fact, sometimes by the end of the day, all I get is no answers. And then I ask, is my finger, I call it finger wisdom, is my finger wisdom even working? Okay. That's my guides, my spirit guides' way of saying, okay, you've done enough work for one day, chill out, no more answers. So you use those discernment skills often. In fact, I want you to use them throughout my talk to see if I'm telling you the truth, all right? This is my truth. Maybe it's not yours.